In this video, I'm gonna help you overcome the fear of rejection. Now, the reason why you're probably having that fear of rejection is because you're avoiding dealing with the pain, you're avoiding dealing with the shame, you're avoiding dealing with the uncomfortable and all the anxiety. Trust me, I've been there, I know what it feels like. For me to close over 1,000 deals over the last 20 years, I'd overcome thousands of no's and all the rejection that comes with that. So I developed a certain level of mindset and skill set that I want to share with you and help you along this journey. Let's get started. So the first tip for you overcoming rejection is changing relationship with the word no. For example, I started getting after real estate deals. 08 happened, collapse happened. I decided to find something because I didn't want to go back to another job. I found a fire damage deal and I went to my investor like, hey, what do you think about this fire damage deal? He's like, no, it's not a good deal. Don't waste your time on it. So I ended up selling that property. I made some good money and I sold a couple more fire damage deals. And I went to another investor like, hey, I think these fire damage deals, there's something here with these. And I went to him and he's like, no, Elijah, it's a waste of time. You don't know what you're doing. Like, don't be naive. No one wants these properties. So I initially took that initial no and I'm like, well, if you're running from them, I'm running towards it. I'm not gonna let that no be a determining factor. I'm gonna let that be a motivating factor. Now I get it, we hear that word no and we kind of get nervous, we're not sure what to do. And listen, that word no does not define you. That no does not define your meaning, your purpose. Just because they say no to you doesn't mean it's no forever. I had to develop a skill set of every time I hear the word no, I hear not now, not forever, not at this moment, but I don't hear it as a rejection to me. I have to hear at least 8 no's before I hear that first official no. See, we have to understand when we are hearing the word no, we cannot associate it with our value or with who we are, that they're not rejecting us. They might reject an opportunity, it might be a bad timing, but it's not us. So we don't want to block our blessings and block our goals because of this word no. And so fast forward 9 years later, I became the fire damage king. I started figuring out how to make up to 3 checks on these fire damage deals. And that's all because I didn't let that one no stop me from obtaining and going after my goals. Number 2 tip is a skill set of taking imperfect action. So this one lady happens to be my current fiance. Well, she worked for me for 2 years before we started dating. I was extremely nervous to ask her to date her. One big rule, you never date somebody who works for you because if you guess wrong, you get sued, it's sexual harassment, you can lose everything. So I was really nervous and scared about asking her to date me, but I really felt like God put her in my life for me. It was in LA from a Laugh Factory, driving back to San Diego. So we have like an hour-and-a-half drive. And a series of things happened throughout the day that gave me my energy, put a jetpack in me. It's like, this is the time to do it. You need to ask her out. Do it, Elijah. I'm feeling the fear, right? Like you feel the fear in your lives. I was feeling the fear, my palms are getting clammy, I'm taking deep breaths, and I'm asking her, like, I try to ask some subtle questions, see if she just get the hint. Like, hey, so Jennifer, what do you feel like about everybody thinks that we look good together? What do you think about that? She's like, are you asking me a question? I'm like, well, no, I just want you know how everybody thinks we look good together? Like, what do you think about how everybody says that to us? It's like, I don't know, I mean, that's fine. Oh my God, she's making me sweat. So I felt the fear. I gripped the steering wheel. I don't even look over. Eyes on the street. I feel it. I'm like, would Jennifer Coronado date Elijah Rubin? And she didn't quite say yes, but she did say, well, what would our friends think? And I'm like, yes, that's a yes to me. If that's not a no, it's a yes to me. So the moral of the story is I felt that fear. One of my mentors, E.T., says, you can have average skill, but phenomenal will. Right? I mean, I have the willpower to do things that most people won't do, even if I'm not the best. So when you feel that fear, don't let that fear grip you. Right? Feel the fear and still move forward. Now, at first, you're like, no way, I can't do it. But as you take constant action, regardless of how you feel, you still believe in the principle, you believe in the outcome more than the fear, you're gonna develop this muscle that when you say to do something, you just do it. And that ability to take action before the feeling happens is going to not only help you in every aspect of your life, but you can develop the habit of doing what needs to be done when it needs to be done, regardless of the feeling. So the power of act to feel, and just taking perfect action is gonna put you in a winning position. Tip 3 is another skill set one, repetition overcomes rejection. Think about it. When you look at somebody confident, even a football player, basketball player, a rapper, somebody that you really believe is really confident, they're not confident out of luck. They practice, they rehearse, they prepared. What do they say? How you prepare in private will determine if you'll ever be praised in public. So these people are rehearsing constantly. So by the time it's time to perform in front of people, they already done it multiple times. They've been here before. So they're just doing what they did in practice right in front of you. And to all of us, it looks like they're confident. So what can you do? You could do, like I said, pre-call affirmations. You could check out one of my other videos, Guaranteed 3, just talked about the 3 things you could do every single day. You could write on your journal. You could visualize how you want to execute. You could constantly role play areas where you feel like you might be getting rejected. You could role play areas where, you dealt with a situation, you felt lost, and now this time you have go-to material. So when you're in live time, you're talking with that client, you're dealing with that moment, you're in front of all these other people to make that presentation, you don't feel that rejection because you have the confidence because you rehearse what to do here. But you do these things repetitively, day in, day out, and when it comes time to deal with whatever that big moment, you're going to exceed and excel and not gonna let that fear of rejection stop you. So remember, repetition helps you overcome rejection. I gave you guys some valuable skill sets and mindset to help you guys overcome the fear of rejection. This is going to happen in incremental steps. So first, you're gonna start noticing things in your life changing. You're gonna start noticing things about yourself changing before everybody around you start noticing the big changes. But remember, through this process, it's not gonna happen overnight. So treat yourself nicely. Be your biggest fan, be your biggest cheerleader, because life doesn't get better until you get better first. And all things won't get started until you start taking action and implementing some things we provided. If you liked the value I provided in this video, do me a favor. Comment below what hit hard for you, what you enjoyed most about it. Subscribe and follow your boy. I got more heat coming soon. Salute.